During AMD's data center and AI technology premiere event, the company revealed new details about its 5 nanometer EPYC Bergamo processors for cloud native applications. Now, these processors are featuring about a 128 Zen 4C cores. They're designed to compete with Intel Sierra Forest chips and Ampere's AmpereOne processors. So the EPYC Bergamo processors offer higher core counts than standard data center solutions, but maximizing power efficiency is also kind of important. So for parallel latency tolerant workloads. So AMD's claiming a 2.7 times increase in energy efficiency with these Bergamo chips.
Yeah, it's interesting. This was a big announcement that a lot of us were really waiting for. I closely watch the data center market and especially data center CPUs and storage. And the Bergamo was an announcement that, well, frankly, most of us saw coming. Most of us knew what was going to happen and were waiting for it to happen. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't surprising. And in fact, to me, the biggest surprise here is that AMD and Intel have really taken two different directions with their high core count processors. So just to be clear, traditionally, processor makers basically had one kind of core and packed it onto the chip, and that was that. ARM and then Intel released sort of a big little approach where they had high performance cores and lower performance but higher efficiency cores. So most of the latest Intel CPUs feature some mix of high performance cores and efficiency cores. The Xeons don't. They're just the high performance cores right now, but I think most people are expecting that Intel will have a massive efficiency core processor with tons and tons of processor complexes. And even though each of them is smaller, they can fit a whole bunch more on a die because they're smaller. You know, they can cram more in. This is the same thing that Apple's doing, the same thing you find in ARM CPUs. Everybody, I think, expected that maybe that's what AMD would do as well, but they didn't. Instead, Zen 4C is basically the same as Zen 4 with some of the features kind of crammed in together to increase efficiency in terms of packaging to make the processor smaller. And in order to achieve this, they basically, moved this around and moved that around and changed the tolerances on this and made these things smaller and scrunched it up a little bit. And so they end up with a processor core that is roughly the same on a clock for clock basis as the regular Zen 4, but takes up less real estate. And in this case, they were able to put 128 of them on a single chip package, and that's pretty cool because essentially you've got a processor that supports all the features and functions of the rest of the Zen 4 family, but crams a lot more CPUs into the same package. So that's neat. I'm not sure that we should put too much stock into the specific benchmark numbers in terms of 2.7 times increase in energy efficiency. Under what workloads, under what circumstances, that sort of thing. But I think that it is really interesting to see these two very powerful companies, Intel and AMD, both trying to come out with high core count processors for effectively for cloud scale applications. And AMD has already announced wins in that as well, where they're going to be having Bergamo powered cloud instances in public hyperscaler clouds, and I think that that's great for AMD. I think it's great for consumers. I mean, you get more cores cheaper. That's always better, and it's really cool for us who watch technology to see how things are evolving in different ways from these two big, powerful companies.